when Pope Francis looks at the world, he asks different kinds of questions. He asks, where are people hurting? And what is hurting God's children on this planet? And so he looks at climate change and sees it's hurting people, worsening droughts right now, intensifying hurricanes and storms like Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. And so he feels compelled to act and to talk out of that perspective. And I think sometimes we don't know what box to put him in, because we think about it from what are scientists saying, what are politicians saying, and his heart goes out to the people. You see him in the streets. You know, his heart is full of love for people, especially those on the margins, especially those who are hurting. And so he needs to act out of that love. I lived for a year in India. I lived for a year in a village in the Himalaya mountains of India. And I got really sick with Giardia when I was there, and this Buddhist nun actually took wonderful care of me. And then shortly after that, I saw my first mosquito. And there weren't supposed to be any mosquitoes at 9,000 feet in the Himalaya mountains. And I was worried because I was told I didn't need to bring anti-malaria medicine. And now malaria is starting to kill people in these mountain regions that had never experienced malaria before, and it's because of what we're doing. So these villagers and these people who took such wonderful care of me, they could be suffering, and it's because of things that we're doing. The people who are being hurt the most are the people who contributed the least to climate change. The World Health Organization says at least 150,000 people die every year right now because of climate change. The Bible teaches us that we need to care for creation and care for the poor together. And we think of the environment as some issue out there, and climate change is an environment issue out there. But we know that climate change is impacting people so much right now. And God links these two together for us in Scripture repeatedly, that if we don't take care of the land, it will spew us forth. And Pope Francis says, if we destroy creation, creation will destroy us. He links it together for us as well. So this call to care for creation, and especially caring for the poor, from the Catholic standpoint, the preferential commitment to the poor is how we've termed it. The preferential commitment to making sure that the poor are the ones that we are considering most in any decisions that we're making. And I think it's out of this that the Pope Francis is really responding to climate change. Anyone who's wondering, why is the Pope talking about climate change? It's because of what it's already doing to the poor, and our hearts need to go there first in how we respond to the world, and respond to this issue. I think Pope Francis is creating new kinds of conversations, and he's starting the conversation at a different level. You know, instead of from the science or from the politics, this moral guidance, this moral obligation to our children and to future generations is really resonating with people, and he's doing it with such hope. You know, if we're very gloomy about, you know, climate change is gonna just tear everything apart, without a sense of hope and joy about what our own call with God is, then I think we're missing a point here. Pope Francis approaches this with such hope and joy, saying that we could live in right relationship with God and with one another, and have a much more joyful, simple, but yet full life together. And that's really resonating with people, that we could actually, you know, in terms of economics, grow jobs. There's so many solar industry workers already, and the opportunities are there. So I think coming at it with a hopeful, faithful message is starting new kinds of conversations that is moving past some of our deadlock that we've had before. It is so important for us to be a part of the solution, be a part of bettering our relationship with God. You know, when we are in a better relationship with God's creation, then we're in a better relationship with the Creator and with one another.